Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the ASEAN heads of state and spouses. Led by President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and Madam Shalito Salvador Avancenia of the Republic of the Philippines, His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah Muzaddin Wadaula of Brunei Darussalam, His Excellency Prime Minister Hun Sen of the Kingdom of Cambodia, His Excellency President Joko Widodo and Madam Iriana Joko Widodo of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Prime Minister Tonglun Sisulit and Madam Nali Sisulit of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, the Honorable Dato Sri Muhammad Najib bin Tun Abdul Razak and Madam Datin Paduka Seri Haja Rosma Mansor of Malaysia, Her Excellency Dawong San Suu Kyi, State Councilor of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, His Excellency Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong of the Republic of Singapore, His Excellency Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-chan and Madam Nanaporn Chan-o-chan of the Kingdom of Thailand, His Excellency Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc and Madam Tran Nguyen Tu of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Let us all remain standing for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations Anthem, the ASEAN Way. Everyone may now be seated. Water is life. It connects our shores, binding us as one. Through water, we share our culture, our vision, and our dreams with one another. We live in harmony and unity, thus becoming one community. This welcome performance was written and composed by the Dawn. From the choreography of Marciano T. Viri, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the same boat. Iisang bangka tayo. Your Majesty and Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Your Majesty, Excellencies of the ASEAN's heads of state and government, the Secretary General of ASEAN, former President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to welcome you all to Manila for the 30th ASEAN Summit. The Philippines is privileged to chair the ASEAN on its milestone year, the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Regional Association. On this auspicious occasion, I stand before you, humbled and proud to be in the company of friends, brothers, and sisters in the ASEAN. We commemorate this momentous event with those who share Asia's collective dreams and aspirations, as well as its struggles and challenges. On August 8, 1967, the founding fathers of ASEAN laid the foundation of an organization anchored on the importance of unity, solidarity, and cooperation. The cornerstone form part of the time-honored principles of international law: mutual respect for the independence, sovereignty, equality, territorial integrity, and the national identity of all nations, and non-interference in the internal affairs of one another. As visionaries, our founding fathers underscored the value of cultivating and nurturing a special bond of friendship despite our diversities as nations and people. Envisioned to be relevant and dynamic, ASEAN has made collective achievements and breakthroughs amid momentary setbacks and disagreements. Guided by our chairmanship theme, Partnering for Change, Engaging the World, we are drawn today to reaffirm our aspiration for an ASEAN that works to effect positive change in the lives of our people. An association that is proactive, relevant, and transformative. 10 months into my presidency, I had the privilege of meeting the leaders of ASEAN member states. My visits were opportunities to discuss common issues and concerns at the bilateral level. There were also occasions to hold open and candid exchanges on shared interest in our region. For those valued interactions, we identified core priorities of the Philippines chairmanship: building a people-oriented and people-centered ASEAN, maintaining a peaceful and stable region, cooperating in maritime security, advancing inclusive and innovative growth, promoting ASEAN's resiliency, and promoting ASEAN as a model of regionalism and as global player. I am heartened that you share and support our vision and our objectives. The peoples of ASEAN share universal aspirations that the rights and welfare as a people are protected and promoted. Our peoples want a stable source of livelihood, a roof over one's head, quality education for their children, affordable health care, a peaceful and stable government, and a dynamic economy. These are indexes of prosperity. These uplift and dignify the human person. Today I say our peoples deserve these and more. After all, our peoples are at the heart of the community building. We must do our best to achieve all of these for them. Our peoples are some of the hardest working you will find anywhere, willing to endure great sacrifices to give their families an opportunity to improve their lives. Whenever I am abroad, I make it a point to meet our overseas Filipinos, to hear their stories, and make them feel that their president and their government genuinely care for them. My fellow leaders in ASEAN, no doubt can you relate to my story. But migrants, along with other vulnerable sectors of society, need our support as we continue to build an ASEAN community that is rules-based, people-centered, and people-oriented. We have the opportunity to do our part in these concerns. On the political and security front, we find that traditional and non-traditional security issues test our resolve to promote peace, stability, security, and prosperity in our region. Geopolitical and strategic developments around the globe also pose a challenge to our shared interests and goals, if not the security of our environment. We must also be resolute in realizing a drug-free ASEAN. The scourge of illegal drugs threatens our gains in community building. I have seen how illegal drugs have ended the hopes, dreams, future, and even the lives of countless people, especially the youth. The illegal drug trade apparatus is massive, but it is not impregnable. With political will and cooperation, it can be dismantled, it can be destroyed before it destroys our societies. Equally important, we must not waver in our efforts to eliminate security threats to regional growth and development. Piracy and armed robbery against ships disrupt the stability and regional and global commerce. Terrorism and violent extremism have brought the reality of attacks right on our shores and on our doorsteps. Eternal vigilance is the price that we must pay to keep our citizens safe. We can only achieve this through advancing cooperation at the bilateral, regional, and multilateral levels. On the economic front, we should take advantage of our partnership with the business community. We can advance cooperation in our region by staying true and steadfast and resolute to our processes of integration, innovation, inclusivity, and connectivity. We must build the capacities of our micro, small, and medium enterprises as engines of growth to realize this goal. We also need to nurture sub-regional cooperation in order to bring progress to those who deserve it at the most, those who have the very least in our societies. These are but a few ways to narrow the development gap to ensure that a person, the ASEAN citizen, does not fall into a quagmire of poverty. We must continue to work with our economic partners if we are to succeed in integrating our region into the global economy. To be sure, there are rules to be played in international economic relations. Indeed, rules exist to be followed. But when we open ourselves to probing the basis and the rationale, we also open the possibility of new approaches and perhaps a better regime. Our region is one of the most vulnerable when it comes to natural disasters. The Philippines has borne the brunt of nature's force. In 2013, Typhoon Hainan turned some provinces and cities into wastelands. Thousands of lives were lost. Amid the desolation and destruction, I saw the resilience of our people, the pick up the pieces of their lives, and the strong will to start again. This indomitable spirit of the Filipino people. This allows us to surpass challenges that come our way. This is also why we are focused on becoming more prepared to address these challenges. The Philippines will never forget timely assistance from fellow Asian countries. During our time of greatest need, you were there. We are eternally grateful. Today I say, the Philippines will do its own part to help those who are in need in our region and beyond. This year, we are commemorating milestones with 4 of our dialogue partners, the 40th anniversary of dialogue relations with Canada, the European Community, the United States of America, and the 25th anniversary relations with India. We are also commemorating the 20th anniversary of the ASEAN Plus 3. These are relations that are valued, but they can be much more valuable and stronger if we learn to respect each other's independence and treat each other as a sovereign equal. Our engagement with dialogue partners allowed us to set the table for meaningful discussions on maintaining peace and stability, the pursuit of development goals, the peaceful resolutions of disputes, and the promotion of our people's welfare. Let me say again, relations bear fruit when they are based on mutual respect and benefit. Dialogue relations can be made more productive, constructive, if the valued principle of non-interference in the internal affairs of the ASEAN member states is observed. Relations also remain solid if all stakeholders learn to respect and value the peaceful resolution of disputes. In an era where there can be much of uncertainty, we must faithfully adhere to the supremacy of the law and rely on the primacy of rules as responsible members of the international community. Your Majesty, Excellencies, as ASEAN is about 50 years, we are all witness on how cooperation, unity, and solidarity have changed the course of the history of our region. It is incumbent upon us to be steadfast in upholding what are noble and true, as envisioned by the founding fathers of ASEAN. History will judge us on how we are able to help our people and our region become more better and stronger based on the values and heritage we hold dear. In this milestone year, it is time, and the time is right. And indeed, it is right to make our decisions. It is time for ASEAN to finally assert with conviction its position in the international arena. Let us remember, ASEAN is a compelling narrative of positive change. We can hold up to the world through our distinct ASEAN way. A region with all its promise stands at the center of the future of the Asia-Pacific region. Let us, with brave hearts and firm mind, resolve to do all we can to make our aspirations a reality. There will be the lasting legacy of ASEAN, not just our peoples, but for the whole world. On that note, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, I now declare the 38th ASEAN Summit open. Thank you.
The song ASEAN Spirit, written by Virgilio Almario, National Artist for Literature, with music by Josefino Toledo, reflects the core message of the Philippines for its ASEAN chairmanship, that is, the Philippines champions positive change in the community to produce a unified voice in the world. Likewise, the song echoes the 6 thematic thrusts of the Philippines: a people-oriented and people-centered ASEAN, peace and stability in the region, maritime security and cooperation, inclusive, innovation-led growth, resilient ASEAN, and ASEAN, a model of regionalism, a global player. This shall be followed by another song written by Nicanor G. Tiongson with music by Ryan Cayabyab. It speaks of the unity shared by the ASEAN member states. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippines ASEAN Chairmanship theme song, ASEAN Spirit, and the ASEAN Song of Unity.
Spirit, go against what's best, and
May we invite His Majesty and their Excellencies on stage for the ASEAN Family Photo Session. Let us now witness the traditional ASEAN Way handshake. May we now invite the spouses of the leaders on stage to join the ASEAN family photography. Let us all rise and give His Majesty and their Excellencies a warm round of applause as they move on to their next engagements. We would like to request everyone to please remain in their places as His Majesty and their Excellencies leave the hall.